Hello students, welcome all for today's session. In this topic, you are going to learn about how to perform weaved beads on an MS plate 10 mm thick in a flat position using SWAW process.
At the end of this topic, you will be able to prepare a MS plate of 150 mm length, 100 mm width and 10 mm thickness. Select the electrode and set the current. Deposit uniform weaved bead in flat position. Inspect the job for any surface defects. Let us now look at the required tools and equipment for SWAW process. Steel rule, scriber, prick punch, ball peen hammer, flat file, bench vise, tri-square, tongs, chipping hammer, steel wire brush, electrode cable and earth cable, electrode holder, electrode, personal protective equipment, SWAW welding plant machine and their setup accessories, C-clamp. Let us see the pre-welding preparations of a weaved bead on MS plate 10 mm thick in flat position using SWAW process. Wear protective clothing. Prepare mild steel plate of 150 mm length, 100 mm width and 10 mm thickness. Make sure the job part is clean from oil, grease, paint, dirt, etc. Clean the job surface with a steel wire brush and file the edges. Mark parallel lines on the job surface. Make a punch mark on the line to deposit straight bead. Set the workpiece on the welding table in flat position. Select 4 mm dia medium coated MS electrode. BIS code ER4211. Set the welding current between 150 to 160 amps. Let us see how to perform the welding process of a weaved bead on MS plate 10 mm thick in flat position using SWAW process. Strike an arc on a scrap piece and adjust the current if necessary. Maintain the electrode's position with the weld line at an angle of 75 degree to 80 degree. Start the travel at the normal rate with medium arc length. By carefully positioning the electrode, beads can be deposited between the punched lines. Use a weaving technique that is moving the electrode side to side. When the arc is turned off or an electrode is changed, restart the weld. If a crater arises, move the arc slowly across the crater, reducing the arc length and filling the crater. Move back along the weld about 15 to 20 mm. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds to fill the crater. When welding is complete, fill the crater. At the end of the weld, stop the forward movement of the electrode. Use chipping goggles and tongs during deslagging. Using a chipping hammer, deslag the weld bead. Clean weld bead with a steel wire brush. Inspect the weld bead for any surface defects. There are some important points to be followed for a weaved bead on MS Plate 10 mm thick in flat position using SMAW process. To ensure a good restart, proper fusion and fill up at the crater, proceed as follows. Remove slag 10 to 15 mm from the end of the crater. Change the angle of the electrode. Move back along the weld about 15 to 20 mm. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds to fill the crater. Let us inspect the weaved beads for uniform width and height. Straightness of beads. Uniform ripples. Overlap on sides of the weld. External weld defects like undercut, porosity, slag inclusion, unfilled crater.
Let us do a quick recap of what we have learned in this topic. Prepare MS Plate piece 150 mm length, 100 mm width, 10 mm thickness. Select the electrode and set the current and polarity. Deposit uniform straight bead in flat position. Inspect the job for any surface defects. Thank you, students. I hope you have understood the topic. We'll meet you in the next class.